And we're going for it. Johnny, how are you doing?
Good, mate. You?
Well, now I know what you're drinking.
Hang on.
Spoiler alert. Just cut
No,
the
you
label
don't.
next. I don't know what brand of Stella that was.
Is there multiple brands of it?
You got the non-alcoholic and the alcoholic.
No, you got the filter one as well now, the green one. They've gone posh.
Oh, gone posh. Trying to be like Peroni.
Not that posh.
Yeah. How are you doing, Johnny? Welcome back to the United Kingdom.
I know, thanks, mate. I am back in a semi-time zone of the UK.
You recovered from your jet lag?
You know what? I think I've done pretty well this time, ironically. I don't know how. Well, I do know how because I work on Thursday and I got back on Wednesday, so I didn't really have a choice.
Yeah, you kind of force yourself to.
It worked well. Got back, had a few hours sleep, got up, milled about for a few hours watching TV, and then went to bed at like a normal time. Woke up at normal work time and seemed to have rebounded pretty well.
As you need to. But
yeah.
For those that don't know, we skipped last episode because Johnny was at Disney World.
We didn't. We released an episode. It just wasn't live.
We did release an episode, and that was our cat monkey. My brother's trying to call me. We did release a little episode in our absence, which was our cat monkey episode. What do you think of it, Johnny?
I have watched half of it. I'd be lying if I said I've watched all of it. I enjoyed the bit with Swagner. I enjoyed a lot of it so far. I think the editing,
was really
he's
fun.
done very well.
I really like the 360 video.
I know you do, but it just takes up so much space.
We'll figure it out for next time. But yeah, in that
interim, it's done well. It's done well, that video, you know.
Yeah, I know. It's one of our more.
Have you seen how many subscribers we now have?
I know that we jumped. We got quite a good jump.
I know.
So welcome to all of those that are new and joining us and going to watch this later. Yeah, I was looking at it. Most popular video of us is doing the Hot Ones challenge. And our trailer and a magic wheelchair and then cat monkey. It's our 4th best video.
It's done well. I do know why, but
it's that face.
My face.
Both our faces.
It's very stretched. My face. I don't know what's happened there in the.
I look double thick, and then Dan just looks tiny. We're like giants with tiny little. It's like Dan's on your shoulder.
Action Man Dan.
Action Man Dan is on your shoulder, like in the what's it, Lord of the Rings with the trees. That's great.
It is great.
You nerded out Disney World.
Yeah, mate. I've recovered. My feet have recovered. Did a lot of walking.
So, speaking of walking, I see you were rocking the Crocs.
I may the full on crocked it. I mean, day 1, day 2, I did trainers, right? I did like my my running / cycling / walking trainers, and they were comfy enough. Don't get me wrong, but my feet were really hot, and I thought, what better way to cool them down than colanders, also known as Crocs?
Did you buy the Crocs there, or did you bring them with?
My garden Crocs for putting the like.
They're the ones you got for Christmas. The same weekend, the same Christmas I got Crocs.
Yeah, mate. People mock the standard Croc, but I say don't knock it till you've tried it.
Yeah, I go with like fake Adidas like flip flop things for the back garden.
Yeah,
but for out, going out public, and I don't feel like putting on shoes.
Crocs.
Oh, a solid pair of Crocs. But I'm excited to know more about your Disney trip. Compare it to, because I went to Disneyland Paris last year, and I got questions. I want to go next year.
Well, I haven't been to Paris in a long time, and I only did like a very brief day on a school trip.
Well, yeah, and they've got that whole new Hollywood side. Avengers
Campus. I ain't seen any of that yet.
Yeah, but I think it's time for a little bit of a tradition.
Fire it up.
We're going to find out what we're drinking. You ready, Johnny?
I am.
This is where you say, spin that bitch.
ST.
Go on.
I'm not. I've said STV. You've got to do the acronym. You're not part of the crew.
The crew?
I've got a fan club now, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
TV.
Okay. King. What are they drinking? Why
Well,
is there no jazz? There's the jazz. Okay.
well, mine's kind of been ruined this week by an early accident I may have had.
Early accident?
Well, I might have shown the
right, your little
vessel I was drinking from, let's say.
Yeah. So, I'll have a guess, Johnny. You're drinking Stella.
I have.
Oh my god! Oh wow!
I've got a Stella.
Stella.
Do you want me to describe it to you in 5 words?
Go for it.
Crisp, cold, wet, hoppy. Cheap.
British.
Cheap.
Yeah.
Not cheap. I think it's technically
Belgian.
Belgium.
Says it on the front underneath the big.
I was reading the yes it does. I was reading the address.
The address. All right. Want to have a little gander at what I'm drinking?
Well, I think you were pouring something earlier, so that's giving me a little hinty.
Okay.
I'm not going to go Jack this week. I think you've baited me.
Okay.
No, I'm going to go Jack Daniels and Coke.
Oh, he's gone with the bait and switch with some.
I baited and switched it.
It was the same price as a bottle of Jack Daniels. I thought, fuck it, let me try something a little different. So,
Oh, well, I tell you what, I'll have to tell Mr. Jack. Share price will be dropping.
Yeah, please don't tell him. Uncle Jack won't be happy. Uncle Jack's gonna come at me at night.
Didn't need that image, but all right, yeah, sound. So Maker's Mark and Coke, I'm guessing.
Yeah, Coca-Cola original taste.
Full fat red Coke, diabetes.
Full fat red Coke. Makes my teeth fuzzy. I love it. Every minute of it.
I can't deal with the teeth fur.
Oh, that's sitting real good. But yes, how was Disneyland? Well, Disney World.
World. It was good, mate. It was not horrendously busy. Apart from Saturdays, that was horrendously busy. So we went to one of the water parks on a Saturday, which was nice. We did every ride we wanted to. We've mastered the Disney Experience app that you have to use for everything under the sun. Good news. My app didn't work, so I got a load of free lightning lanes.
Oh.
Because I just kept going and saying this checkout doesn't work, and it didn't. So
that's cool. So
it was good. Saved me like $200.
What is the point of the app? How does the app work?
So the app essentially lets you do like ride reservations, food reservations,
right?
Order like food on your mobile where you just walk up and collect it rather than standing in the line.
Okay.
And then there's a thing called Genie Plus, which is like a one-off fee, and you have to reserve your ride times so you don't stand in any queues. Essentially, it's not worth the money. We didn't do it. And then they have virtual queues for 2 rides, which is Tron and the Guardians of the Galaxy ride. Done them both.
You do them?
Yeah, done them both twice. Good.
What do you think of the Guardians of the Galaxy ride?
Okay, so I liked it. Don't get me wrong. I liked the mechanics. As an engineer, the mechanics of the ride, unreal.
So, I don't know if you've watched the documentary about it on Disney Plus.
I haven't.
fucking it explains kind of how it all works, but I'm sure like as you're engineering mine, just like mine,
Oh mate, I was away with it on that ride.
try to work it out. So that's the original one, Disneyland and Disneyland Paris. The cart doesn't move around and then get onto the elevator. You just walk onto the elevator and the cart's static. So you don't get, the story behind it all is in like a room that you stand in, and then you get on the ride. You go up and down with the story in between, and you get off. The cart doesn't have this immersive experience.
Yeah, it was the mechanism of that ride going around that track and twisting at the same time and shit.
And the fact that you don't see any tracks, there's no like obvious.
It's like dark. There's one point where you could, I thought, going around. But it's really good. But I prefer Tron.
See, but to me, it's two different rides.
It is, but for me, I preferred like what I would class as a roller coaster sort of ride, rather than like a immersive experience thing.
How did you feel on the motorbikes being like with the strap on your back?
Fine, absolutely fine.
Because I did like a motorbike thing in Australia, and I think it's because I'm quite tall. I just got fucking cramped in that thing.
So one thing I noticed, we did it twice. The first time I sat quite low down on the bike, like my arse was fairly close to what would be the back wheel. The second time I felt like I sat further up, and I felt like it was like a lot tighter around my chest and stuff. So that would be my advice. Make sure your arse is low down.
Make sure you get down low.
Yeah.
But it is an interesting experience to be sat on a roller coaster kind of like that. It's a lot more immersive. Like you want to lean into the corners and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's like riding a motorbike at daft speeds around bends that you would normally die on.
Yeah. So at Disneyland Paris, they had the app, but there was no like genie thing. It will show you your ride times. You couldn't book. You could order fast track stuff. You could book reservations, but you didn't need the app.
Now everything.
Disneyland.
Everything's app now.
Back then it was an app. It was 2017. It was an app based, but you went to like a kiosk.
Mm-hmm. You got your little ticket thing.
Stubby.
I preferred that.
Or you can go wait in the queue.
Yeah, I preferred that because everyone had the same chance. You had to be in the park to go and get your little ticket thing. It was free, which most like 95% of everything we did was free. Like there was only 3 occasions where we were going to pay for a ride because I didn't want to wait in the line. And basically I went to the desk thing twice on them occasions, and they were like, yeah, we're not going to make you buy Genie Plus just for one ride. Like, just have it on us. It's fine. Yeah. So that's the good thing about Disney.
We did Fast Track at Legoland in Denmark. And that was like an all-inclusive package. You spend, you pay, I think it was 150 euros each.
Oh, so that's kind of like the Genie Plus thing is. But Genie Plus is not that much.
The only thing is you couldn't stack it. You could only order one ride.
Yeah.
Go on it. And only once you've gone on it can you then book to the next one. And yeah, Sarah and I did like some rides 5 times in a row because of that. We just like got back and then back on.
So Genie Plus is similar to that. I didn't do it, so I'm not 100%, but it sounds like it's similar to that, where you have to reserve your rides. You walk basically directly to the front of the queue. But I think it only lets you stack like 2 at a time. But the Disney World one varies depending on which of the 4 parks you're in. Or you can get like the top tier, which covers all of them if you're like hopping between them or whatever. Yeah, but the most I saw it was $34 for like the top tier. So that's not horrendous if you're only there like 2 days.
Space Mountain, I did Space Mountain. I was annoyed because I was like, I'm going to fast track it because last time we waited a while. Fast track said went in and the queue was shorter. It was past the point where you connect in the fast track. I was just like, fuck sakes, man.
Yeah, they don't tell you that, do they?
No, they won't tell you that. But I do find it interesting that you can track timings and everything like that. But I think the one thing I'm the most jealous of, you got to go to Batu.
Oh, mate. I could have lived there quite happily. The first, we had like a good long morning in there, and then we had like nearly a full day-ish in there, so like day and a half, and it's very immersive. You can tell that it is very purpose-built.
Yeah.
You know, like the rest of Disney's parks have been knocked around for additions and like rethemed, and there's bits where you can tell it doesn't quite join up.
Yeah.
Like it's very good. You go under this bridge through like a cave, and then it's like, oh, now you're here, sort of thing.
Well, what experiences did you do in there? Did you do it
within reason. So we did Rise of the Resistance and Smuggler's Run, which are the two rides in there.
How was that one? Because that's the one that also takes you on a track, and they got like full-size AT-ATs and stuff.
Oh, mate, that Rise of the Resistance, yeah. The ride mechanism in there is like mind-blowing. Like, I won't ruin it for people, but it's kind of like...
the animatronics look incredible as well.
Yeah, the animatronics are insane, but it's kind of like Dinosaur or the Indiana Jones rides, for anyone that knows them, where it's almost like you get in a car, and there's like 2 rows of 4 seatbelts sort of thing, and it moves around and it bumps around a little bit, but it goes so much better. It like locks into lifts, goes up and down, and then at the end it turns into like a 4D simulator thing. It was really good.
Did you do that just once, or did you try to do it multiple
We only
times?
did it once because the queue was so long, and it breaks down a lot, we noticed.
Yeah. From what I've heard is that there's different paths that it can take.
There is. So it's not a track anymore. It works off, like these NFC chips in the floor.
Yeah.
When you're going around, like the nerd I am, you can see all the different tire routes and stuff that it goes. So I guess if like you lived there, or you had a pass for it, or you were there a bit longer than we were, or you rode it, like my brother did it twice, so he probably got slightly different routes. You would get like slightly different experiences every time.
It creates that idea of repeatability,
Yeah,
it's similar to in video games, giving you different choices. It allows you to replay it in different ways. So
it's a bit like the original Star Tours, which is still there. It's just, that's the other weird thing where I say like the Batu part is very immersive because it's at the back of the park. Everything's in one place. But then in Hollywood Studios, near the entrance to the park, you've got Star Tours where there's another AT-AT.
Yeah, but I think that's a classic. Like,
yeah,
it's such classic technology, and it's created characters that are now
great.
canon and part of the story.
I love it. And Star Tours, we're on about Rise of the Resistance, obviously has different paths through it. Star Tours has got like 50 different missions, different combinations you can do as well. So that's where the sort of original idea came.
Yeah, because I did Star Tours really in California, and I was like, this is cool. But then after hanging around Luke a lot, and like David and his droid, and learning about the history, and watching the documentaries on Disney Plus, when we did it in Paris, I was kind of like pointing out little Easter eggs again. I was just,
there's loads in there. It's crazy. Well, they've just updated Star Tours to have the Mandalorian and Grogu and stuff in, like literally the last couple of months. And we got Mandalorian and Grogu for one of ours. So I was pretty happy with that. But Rise of the Resistance is incredible. Like the theming, the size of the ride, everything, even the queue and stuff. It's good. Smuggler's Run, also good. Very immersive pilots. So that's if you're going to try pilots, because the engineer basically just blasts the button repeatedly, and the gunner, I think, is
that's when you're in the
you're in the Falcon. There's like two pilots, 2 gunners, 2 engineers. It was good. That was good as well. Not as good.
I don't know if World has it. The Spider-Man ride in Avengers.
No, it doesn't have it.
Yeah, we did that in Paris, and that was very interesting because you kind of, it tracks your body movements, and you got to like web sling your way. That's quite interesting. I like that.
No, so
interactive technology. Did you get to see the Spider-Man thing, the acrobatic robot?
No, didn't see that either. We were kind of like focusing on getting all the rides and stuff we did. Like my brother, because he was there a bit longer than us with the kids and that, they could take their time and stop and look at stuff a bit longer. So I'd probably go slightly longer if I was going again. I mean, we were there like 10 nights, so like 9 days, and we did everything we wanted to do. And we went to the water park twice because I quite enjoyed just chilling out and going on like some water slides and stuff when it was hot as well. So like in 7 days at the parks, we got everything done we wanted to do. I mean, like there were shows that we could have done and stuff, but the majority of stuff we got done.
There's a lot to do. Did you try drinking around the world at Epcot?
No, mate, honestly, no. It's a fortune. So I would have been up for it, but it kind of felt like a little bit of a waste of time for us as well to go all the way. Like I had a couple of beers in different places. So I got one in Japan, like some double IPA thing. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll have the blah, 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 the 8-ounce one. And I'm like expecting like a full on pint of beer here. Half pint is 8 ounce apparently. 16 ounces is a large beer in America.
Oh dear.
And I was like, but I've just paid $15 for an 8-ounce beer. And he was like, yeah, but it's double. Yeah. And he was like, yeah, but it's double strength. So
you're playing with the UK
12
rules there. They're playing with some UK rules.
Yeah. I was like,
Did you go to the British pub there?
No, come on. Ironically, my brother and my mum and dad did one night before we got there. They had fish and chips and they said it was actually really good. So
oh, fair enough. I've seen a lot of TikToks of these, like, oh, I'm taking my American boyfriend to a American fish and chips place or something. Shit like that.
But no, Epcot's good. It is good. The theming's great. It's. I think it's the adult park, if you know what I mean. There's not a whole load of rides. There's a lot of like stuff to look at and a lot of food and drinks and stuff.
See, for me, that's the kind of place that I just love to get day drunk in.
Man, I would have loved to have had like a spare day to have, because they had like a flower food festival thing on where you get like a stamp book, and if you buy 5, you get your 6th free. So we'd had like a couple of them, and they were like $8 little snack meals, and they were dead nice. And like, yeah, if we'd had a spare day, it would have been nice to just like have a slow walk round.
Did you do the firework displays?
No.
What?
So I wanted to do fireworks. Vicky wasn't too bothered. And what we found was it was better going early than it was staying late in terms of like wait times. So Magic Kingdom, the first day we went to Magic Kingdom, we got there. It was an 8:30 early entry day. No, it was an 8 o'clock normal opening, 7:30 early entry. So we got there at like 7:45, walked in. By the time we'd got like up Main Street, taking a few photos and stuff, like all the rides were opening up. We did 6 rides in like 3 hours. It was like quiet as. So we kind of started going early rather than staying late. We did go do a couple of late nights and we watched bits of the fireworks, put it that way.
Yeah, I know during the fireworks is also probably the best time to do rides as well.
Yeah.
Did you do Tron at night at least?
No, so Tron's difficult, right? Because through the app, 7 a.m. on a morning, you have to log in, put your party together. So me and Vicky, or me, Vicky, and the brother and the kids and that. And then you have to go into a lottery to get a place to ride the ride that day. And then they do boarding groups like 1 to 150. And then you get called at a random time when your boarding group is like selected to board. Which means you can't like say, oh, I want to do it at night when the lights are on, because you don't know when your boarding group's going to get called. And once it's called, you've got an hour to get there and get in the line.
Interesting. That's
same for Guardians. Now, I managed every morning that I wanted a ride, I managed to get one. But I was like on refreshing from like 6:59, like for it.
Just on it.
Yeah, but everyone was. And as I say, I managed like. There was times where I got Tron and we decided we were going to park up somewhere else. So I like released our reservation so that someone else could get it or something. Like we could have been on Tron pretty much every time we went to Magic Kingdom if we'd really wanted.
So it's not that difficult to actually get. I guess
I didn't find it too bad. Now apparently Tron's the easier one of the two to get. Guardians, I did have more challenges with. But again, I think we had it 3 times through the holiday, and I released it once because we were like, I'm not going to stay all that time. I want to go somewhere else.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if you're going for like a day, maybe 2 days, especially if you're local and you don't know about the app and all that stuff. I'm sure there's a whole area where there's just people trying to download the app.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there is, and that is probably my thing. Like, yes, the app worked well, and I managed to get them virtual queues that I wanted. I managed to order food through the app and book tables through the app, but I couldn't buy Lightning Lanes or Genie Plus. Whenever I try to buy them, the payment would go through, and then it would instantly refund it and say there's been an issue. But then the same payment and the same card would work fine for ordering like mobile food. So yeah, there was a couple of rides, like we did Everest in Animal Kingdom, which is like the big roller coaster ride there. Really good. I enjoyed that as well. And I didn't want to queue for it because it was like an hour queue. It was the only thing we hadn't done in that park.
Yeah.
And I was like, I feel like I'm wasting time here. My brother and his wife had got stuck on the Rapids ride. Like, they were literally about to get off and the ride stopped. So they were stuck on that for 20 minutes. So they gave them a free Lightning Lane to like make up for it. So they were like, we're going to use this on Everest. And like, there's certain rides that you can't buy like an individual Lightning Lane for. You have to buy Genie Plus. So I was like, I'll just buy it. It's like $20 like each. I was like, I'll just do it. It's the only one we want to go on in here that we haven't done. But it wouldn't let me check out. So I went to the desk and they were like, oh, we don't know why. Are you wanting like it for every ride or just one? And we were like, oh, we just want it for that. But there isn't an individual Lightning Lane. So the woman was like dead nice about it. She's like, oh, well, it's not your fault it's not working. So I'll just give you a Lightning Lane for it. So we got on for now anyway.
Yeah, fair enough. Like,
so they are really helpful.
Yeah, and I feel like spending that little bit extra, like it's difficult if you got kids.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure your brother didn't want to spend that kind of money.
And they didn't.
But for you and Vicky, it's fucking, for you, it's saving an hour of your time.
Yeah,
to go and knock about and do something else.
Well, that was it. Like, I wasn't gonna buy a Genie Plus every day. In fact, I didn't buy one any day. I couldn't if I'd have wanted to, but I didn't need it either. Like, I managed fine. There was Everest where I didn't want to queue for it because it was the last thing we had to do, and everyone else in like our group was ready to go, apart from the three of us that wanted to go on that. And then the only other thing was I wanted to go on Rise of the Resistance again. So I was going to buy an individual Lightning Lane for it, and I couldn't check out. So again, I went to the desk and I like said, look, it just doesn't work. I showed them. They put an IT ticket in to get it fixed and gave me the Lightning Lane anyway. So, but other than them two occasions, we didn't need to because we could get out on everything we wanted. As long as you weren't like saying, oh, I'm going to go on this first and then that and then that and then that. Like, as long as you had a bit of flexibility in what you wanted to do, you were fine. And if you do the 14-day for the price of 7 offer that you can get in the UK, you get park hopper with it anyway. So you can jump around between as many parks as you want on the day. Yeah. So
you didn't go to Universal, you just stayed within the Disney parks.
No, if we'd have been there like a few more days and done like a full 2 weeks, we probably would have done a day or two at Universal. But it's mega expensive, Universal.
Yeah, I know you wanted to chat about like comparing the different Disney sites as well. Their prices.
I wanted to know like food prices for Paris and see if it's as expensive or as normal. Can you remember how much it was?
I could probably actually look at my Monzo app.
See, the fact that you're not like squirming and saying it was horrendous makes me think it probably wasn't horrendous.
I didn't think, because I knew I was at Disney. I knew it's a holiday, it's a destination, it's going to be expensive. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So I think Disney World, you were looking at $14 for like a foot-long hot dog and crisps.
Yeah, that sounds about
10-ish pounds, £11, which I was expecting and didn't think was awful.
That is not too bad. I think that's the kind of prices we're paying at Legoland, and Disney was more expensive. But it was that kind of thing of like, we're away, fuck it.
That's kind of what I'm like as well. But they were all the meals that were like $12 to $16, you were walking up to a counter and ordering and collecting it then and there, and then finding a seat. Anything table service, you were looking like $35 to $50 for like fairly standard food.
Just trying to find when I went to Disney. Yeah, I don't think we never had any fancy sit down meals at Disney.
We had a couple.
Went for, but I mean, you were there for long enough. We were there for 2 days.
Yeah.
Our dinner, I can't remember what we had for dinner. I know we went to some like place and had like a pizza thing. We had like one of those Mickey sandwiches.
Yeah, and I think if you're there a short time, you don't really want to waste time sitting and eating for hours either. Like we
had breakfast at the hotel and that.
Yeah, that's what we were doing. We had breakfast at the hotel every morning included. We were getting up early, getting our reservations through the app or whatever, and then just cracking on with the day. But we did a couple of like sit down meals with my brother and the kids and stuff, and they were really nice. To be fair, like they were bang on meals. If it had just been me and Vicky, we probably wouldn't have bothered, and we would have just like got something quick serve. But
yeah,
I
don't think we actually used Monzo much at Disney. Well, I think we might have used Sarah's because 2 of the Disney passes that we used, they were £28 for 2 people. That was for Space Mountain and I think Ratatouille were the 2 that we bought.
Ratatouille was good, I tell you.
And that was another one that blew me away. Like when, I don't know if it's like that in Paris, but they all lined up, but like on a curve, and they all just kind of just drift out and dance around and then they fuck off. It's so immersive. Like it's just like when you're under the counters and that, it's real.
Yeah, no, it was good. That was another really immersive ride. And then it pulls into them little bays with the screening and stuff, and you're like fully like wrapped into it, and you feel like you're on a ride almost. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, Sarah and I are thinking of doing it next year some point. It should be a good, fun, interesting experience.
No, it'd be good, mate. You'll enjoy it. I enjoyed it.
Did you do any of the droid building or the lightsaber?
So I looked at the droid building workshop. I had a walk through there because you can walk through that one like it's a normal shop as well as the droid thing. And I looked at them and I thought it's not worth $150, if I'm honest.
I would love to have a droid. I don't have the space for like a full-size R2 or a full-size BB-8.
Yeah, and these weren't even the full size. These were like third size.
Yeah, they are small. But I like the assembly line idea. Like when we were talking about the robot they were building for the makerspace, my immediate thought was the droid building hub at Disney. That kind of experience.
No, that's what we kind of replicated. And it was like that. Don't get me wrong. The droid thing was like that. Like it was a conveyor belt of parts going around and you chose your parts and it all clicked together.
Just like some parts took 20 minutes to click together.
Yeah, or longer. Now, the lightsaber workshop thing I'd love to have done, but it's like $250 plus tax. Like... You're walking out of there and you've spent $280, $290 minimum. That's minimum, depending on what components you choose, because there's upgraded ones now, apparently.
Yeah, there's different versions.
Yeah, they came out. They were like, I was looking at it from the outside and taking photos because it was a cool building. The whole thing's really well themed. And they were looking at me and I was like, oh, yeah, we've got space available today, at, now. Because if you go early morning, you can nearly walk into everything. And I was like, no, I can't justify it. For it to sit on here, probably. I
really want to do it.
I did, but it's expensive enough. And if you're not bothered about building it and you just like cool lightsabers, there's a shop like a minute walk away where it sells pre-built ones, exactly the same components, but they're pre-built.
See, for me, I find it's worth paying for the experience.
I was going to say, if you want the experience, great. Yes, all for it.
That's what I want, where you put the parts together, you plug it into the thing, and then it lights up, and everybody fucking lifts their lightsabers and just be like, fucking yeah. That's going to be...
Virgins unite.
Yeah. Exactly.
But no, I get that. I totally get that, mate.
Wave
but
around
like,
your virginity stick.
yeah. And then they make you give it up there and then. But no, like, I totally get the experience, and if we weren't like saving for other things at the minute as well,
Yeah.
like I probably would have been all for it. But I'm kind of like 250 quid at the minute, or dollars at the minute, is like a fucking wedding cake or something else.
Yeah.
But I think we'll definitely like go back in a few years, 100%.
Yeah.
Like
I did have a little bit of a stalk on your brother's Facebook.
Oh, mate,
and looked
yeah.
at some of the pictures and that stuff.
They were loving it. The kids were all for it. Like,
I can imagine. Like, I've been to Disney World, but I was 3 years old, so I don't remember a fucking thing. But
no, honestly, it's that Star Wars area is really well themed. Epcot, incredible.
Yeah.
Magic Kingdom, just because it's like
it's a fucking big castle compared to Disneyland.
Yeah, mate, it's massive. It's got like a restaurant and an apartment and everything in it. So
I think it's Walt's old apartment or something like that.
Yeah, well, it's like
There's
Dream
some history
Street, but it's there's loads of history.
I think Walt's apartment was on Main Street. I can't remember. It's in those documentaries. What did you think of like the Avatar areas in?
Avatar was good. So Avatar, the Flight of Passage was our first ride, ironically, just because we went to Animal Kingdom. That was where my brother was going that day.
One of those immersive flight things.
Oh yeah. So it's kind of like soaring is in terms of like it's a screen in front of you, but you sit on like it's kind of like a cross between Tron and soaring in terms of like ride vehicle.
Yeah, you
sit on kind of like a motorbike, which is the back of a Banshee or whatever.
Yeah.
Again, something comes down over the back of you. But the ride vehicle is like incredible. I don't know like how much you've heard about it, but it's obviously got like an airbag either side of it, so you can feel this thing like breathing and stuff is what it's meant to be. So no, like
that's so clever.
Like someone's like a genius for thinking of that. And it's very immersive as well. But all of, like them little touches and stuff are good.
I love the engineering behind the floating rocks.
Oh, incredible, mate. I looked at that and I was like, some structural engineer somewhere is like looking at that going, that is mental.
After you've been actually, go and watch that documentary and, you know, looking at how like that rock is suspended is insane. That's such like, when you think of a Disney Imagineer, it's like, oh, Mickey Mouse and, you know, cartoons. But these Imagineers just fucking, they hardcore engineers and they can do whatever the fuck they want.
Oh, it was ridiculous. Like all them floating rocks and stuff. You look at it, and I know it's all like, it's all blooming Jesmonite and stuff, all, you know, covered up and things. But the structure inside of it and the way that they've got it looking is mental. Yeah. It's crazy. Like that was our first ride, and we were walking through the queue, and I was taking photos of everything. This is the problem with long wait rides like that. That queue would be incredible at night. Well,
they do have at night. All the fluorescent plants come to life.
Exactly, but by that time in the day, the wait would be crazy, and Animal Kingdom closes at 8 p.m. latest because of all the animals and stuff.
Yeah.
So you haven't got a very long window. But yeah, it was a hell of a ride.
Insane.
Even that Navi River journey thing, which is basically just a boat ride. The animatronics and stuff in there are incredible.
It's mental. But what did you think of like the animal side of it? Because I saw there was pictures of just African animals and that stuff.
I mean, I've done like a week safari in Kenya and stuff, so less impressive probably for me than others, but like my brother's kids will have loved that. Like me and Vicky went round and we were looking. It is incredible that all the animals are there, and like they've just had a baby elephant, there's like a baby giraffe there and stuff. I
think it's the most like the biggest misconception of a place like that or any other kind of zoo is kind of the origins of it was to allow people to see those animals because they couldn't travel to
exactly. That was it.
But at this point, it's kind of helping to spread awareness and conservation. So any of the money that Animal Kingdom makes goes to conservation things. So it's the same thing with zoos. Like their main goal is to protect the animals in the wild by teaching you with ones that they have in captivity that can't be released in the wild.
Yeah. No, it is really good. And yeah, like you say, people have misconceptions about zoos, but it's not a zoo. It is basically a nature reserve, that thing.
Yeah. Which is like, it's exactly what in South Africa you go on these game drives, which are these massive reserves that, you know, you get to see them in the wild, essentially.
Yeah. But no, it was Animal Kingdom is my favorite park, believe it or not, out of the four. I said that when we were leaving. I think the theming in terms of like immersiveness and stuff is the best. Like, and I guess it's slightly easier, but they still have like a walk around a little lake thing that has different countries around it. But all of it clicks together really well. Like there's no bit where you think, oh, well, I could tell I was walking from land to land there.
Yeah. One of my close friends in school, his brother went to work at Disney World doing the ambassador stuff, representing South Africa as part of that whole thing. So for a whole year, he was working there, talking about South African culture and that stuff. So and I actually came across a couple of TikToks. Apparently every year they renew people's they don't keep those people on, but they get new people in every year. Yeah. And bring them in. But so you it's not just someone who knows a lot about that country. It's actually someone flown in from that country.
Oh yeah, like you know, I couldn't believe how many English people were working there who had obviously gone over doing that sort of program that you're on about.
Yeah.
And it was like consistent. The English pavilion full of English, but then even one of the safari people like managing the queue, English. Somewhere else there was another English person, but there was a lot of other, like the Norway pavilion was full of Norwegians.
I mean, it makes sense. Like you have, because they'll be more passionate about that specific thing than anybody else.
Yeah, we did the Frozen ride. Yeah. It's so I did that ride when it was Vikings. The last time I went when I was a lot younger, like when I was still a kid. And it's exactly the same ride inside. They've just thrown Olaf and stuff all over it. Which is probably why it breaks down all the time.
Snow on everything and like
they have
frozen.
Put snow everywhere.
All blue.
A couple of doors. Yeah, they painted it all blue where it was all like grey rocks before and people in Viking costumes. They've just shoved Anna and Elsa everywhere.
Yeah, because it's the same like mythology in that.
The same, yeah, exactly. It's the same mythology behind it. It's from the same country. The trolls bit at the start, arguably, is probably exactly the same. They just put a few green trolls in there. And that ride, again, breaks all the time because it's a 30-year-old ride that they've just thrown a load of new clobber over the top of. Did
you do It's a Small World?
Yes.
It's fucking terrible. But we do it every year.
Yeah, it's one of them and it's a classic. But yeah, it's you wouldn't run to it, would you? But it's always a walk on, nearly.
And then you're like, okay, cool.
Yeah, and then it keeps going for another 10 minutes. And then the boats start backing up at the end, and you're like, right, I just want to get off now. We didn't. The only thing that we didn't really do that would have been all right was Peter Pan. We didn't do Peter Pan. I refused to wait it out.
Piece of shit. Absolute fucking
Mate,
piece of shit.
it's like 30 seconds as well.
Like at Disneyland Paris, it was the longest
queue. The longest queue consistently.
All it is, it's like a worse version of Ratatouille.
Well, it's not even that. It's like it's shit. It hangs off the ceiling. People say it's a classic. It hangs off the ceiling and goes around the track.
Wobbles a little bit.
It's about 30 seconds. I'm going to Google how long that ride is.
But Sarah and I are planning. Not planning. We've booked it. We're going to Thorpe Park next month.
Thorpe Park, eh?
Yeah. They've
Like
just
in the
done a
trainers.
full revamp of the park now.
Oh, there.
Yeah, they've built their new roller coaster, Hyperia, I think the tallest roller coaster in the country now. It's not open when we get there, but
We were on about going to a couple of theme parks in the UK on the back of our trip. Peter Pan's flight, 1 minute and 48 seconds.
no. The interesting thing about Hyperia, usually it takes, roller coasters take corners on the inside like that. This one, the cart's on the outside, so it pulls you out of the seat. On the entire ride, it's about 14 seconds that you're not in your seat.
Nice. I tell you what else I liked as a ride at Disney World for when you go. Slinky Dog Coaster was good.
Was it?
No, I liked it.
We saw it and we're like, eh.
No, I liked
I
it.
like the RC one that loops, but the Slinky we're like,
No, Slinky was good. I thought it was good. We got done by the wait on it though, like screwed over. So we got in line that said 40-minute wait, and we went there because we'd gone early. Rise of the Resistance wasn't open. There was only a couple of things we needed to do, so we said, "Oh, we'll go to Slinky. Like it's 40-minute wait. We'll just wait it out." When we got there, it was 45 minutes, and I was like, "Okay, look, we'll just get in line and we'll get cracked on." Now, what happens now at Disney World, and that is all these bastards that have bought Genie Plus that don't want to wait in any lines turn up. They've all lightning laned it last minute. They walk down the side of all the main queue. They go to the front. The cast members panic and start loading these lightning lane people. So the main queue just stops dead. So what was meant to be 45 minutes was an hour and a half.
I know some of the in Legoland, they were only allowed to put so many people with fast track through at a time.
Yeah.
So it was kind of, you got preference. You're like, cool, but it'll be maybe about 2 couples that could go at a time. They're like, we'll get you on the next one.
That's fine. But what was happening was, no, they have restrictions, so they can only sell so many per hour or per 10-minute block. But obviously, people walking into the park, getting a lightning lane for it straight away,
rush,
going straight there, and then by the time they'd been put on, the next 10-minute chunk were turning up, and there was only like 4 out the main queue got on. But what I said to Vic was that when we were like at the front, you could tell the people running the ride, they weren't like stacking it. So normally there's like 2 or 3 groups waiting to get on. Like the ride had pulled in, the people were getting off, and they were still like lining people up.
Oh, so they weren't.
There wasn't like 2-3 groups waiting to get on at any point. That seemed to be messing it up as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I know the one thing you were dreading the most was the journey from the airport to the park. How was that?
Mate. No, not even funny, mate. Honestly, I was about to lose my shit. When you imagine you've got off an 8.5-hour flight, right? So, you know what I'm like in an airport. You've traveled with me. I'm pretty well on it in terms of like, get your bag, get your suitcase, get your passport out, get cracked on.
Get in, get out.
Get out the door. So we like get out the door, get on the bus, and it's a proper like full on, like 60-person coach, and I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. So I could see the guys list, and it's like, all right, there's 5 stops. Ours is like second on the list, so I'm like, all right, that'll be all right then. We're second on the list. Put it on maps. I'm like, right, you're stopping there first, then us, and then all these other hotels are further on. No. He worked up from the bottom of the list, which was like furthest away, back. And then it turned out the top one of the list, which would have been first drop in my eyes, they'd like cancelled or something, and they weren't there. They weren't getting on. So anyway, what is an hour and 20 minutes journey took us like 2 hours, 40 minutes to get dropped at the hotel. And you've just got off a flight. You want to get there. You want to get a shower and go and do some stuff. Like we were meant. We
lost an hour of your day.
Yeah, and we were like meeting my brother, and 6:30 it was booked for. Now our flight landed at 2:30. By the time we got to the hotel, it was knocking on 5:45. So 40 minutes to get out the airport and stuff. Fair enough. But I just found the whole process really frustrating. Like really frustrating.
Yeah.
Especially,
I would have paid extra for an Uber or.
Yeah, especially when like logically, we were closest to the airport, and he drove past the area our hotel was in to get to the further places.
I could see his logic. For him, for you, it's convenient. For him, it's kind of go far and then make his way back to the airport.
Work my way back to the airport because that's where the bus stays overnight, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, fair. But my feedback to Tui when I fill the thing out will be the bus should drop off the closest drop first, not some random order. And what made it worse was he wasn't the quickest fella in the world. Like, you would pull up at a hotel and I'm like waiting for the door to swing open and him to get off, get the bags off and go. And he would sit there and they obviously have like, it's like truck drivers, they have to log on and off. So he gets his phone out, he stops his navigation thing. No, he didn't stop his navigation. I'll get onto that. He'd stop his recording app thing. Then he'd lower the suspension. Then eventually open the door and saunter off. Then get the bags off. And then tick his people off. And then he'd get back on the bus. He'd sit down. And he'd tick that drop to say, yes, I've been there. Even though there's only 4 drops on this list. Do you know what I mean? Like, how far on can you go here? So he'd tick his drop off to say, yes, I've been there. Bearing in mind he's working up from the bottom of the list. And there's 4 drops. So he ticks that off. Then he goes onto his app. Starts his journey again. Then he goes onto Google Maps. He searches the next hotel name. Bearing in mind he works for a bus company that are contracted by TUI. And there's only 2 TUI flights a day. And he's either going to Universal or Disney. You'd think he'd know where all these hotels are. Like, pretty obviously. He doesn't, obviously. So he puts it on Google Maps. But he's one of them people that doesn't click start. He just follows the line as he's moving. So he's not getting instructions. He's just following the line. And I'm just sat there like, this is killing me. This is killing me. So yeah. Killer.
And the return journey on the bus?
Wasn't bad, actually. I give them that. They picked us up. They went to another hotel.
You were at the top of the list this time.
Well, no, because we were the first pickup, and there was only 2, so there mustn't have been many people travelling back that day. So it was only like a little minibus with a trailer to put your bags in. And that one flew. That was fine. Coming back, fine.
You know,
yeah.
We did an airport transfer in Mallorca, and it was kind of like he drove down the entire south coast before dropping us off. On the way back, it was like us and another couple just straight to the airport.
Yeah, so that's what it was like. But going back, I could have lived with it going back. You know, you're not in a rush to get anywhere and stuff. But going was frustrating.
Who was the worst bus driver? The one that took us to Titans or that one?
Titans. This guy was safe as houses. Like, there was no way he was having a crash. He wasn't going fast enough.
That bus driver would have rear-ended everyone.
Mate, he was like that guy off Harry Potter in the purple bus.
That is not a wrong assessment.
No, it isn't. I sent you a GIF. You know, I sent you a GIF. I was like, what the hell are we here?
I would totally agree. That guy. Take it away, Earl.
Yeah. But no, it was a good holiday. Yes, if I was doing it again and I had more money that I was willing to spend on it, I would probably try and land at Orlando International rather than Melbourne International. Just because Orlando International is like 10, 15 minutes from Disney World and that, whereas Melbourne's an hour and 20.
Here's the question. The money that you saved taking that route, that's money you ended up spending at the park.
Yeah,
you know
pretty
what I mean?
much.
It's that kind of...
Yeah, look...
You could buy a first-class ticket to go somewhere, or you can use that money.
Well, that's it. And for us, it wasn't even that, because I had a number that I wasn't willing to go past to go. And as I told you last year, like August last year, or maybe this time last year, my brother booked it for him and my parents. And I was like, I'm not paying it. I'm not going. Like, end of, forget it. And then November, TUI came out with a load of special offers. Right. And we had to accept that we weren't going to stay in a Disney hotel. We were going to stay just off property. But it was cheap for like 11 days or whatever it was.
Did that work out all right in the end?
It worked out fine. Don't get me wrong. Like, that was my only other complaint. I only had a couple, like really good holiday, but that was my other complaint, that the hotel we were staying at had a shuttle bus. Yes, it had a shuttle bus in a very loose term of it was once a day to each park for drop-off and collection. And if you wanted to go at them times, it was probably great. And if you weren't bothered about getting there early to skip queues, it probably would have worked fine for you. Like, it was a 7:50 pickup and stuff like that for some of them. Others were like 10 a.m. pickups and stuff. So if you weren't bothered about getting there early or doing long days and you had 2 weeks, 3 weeks, yeah, you probably would have lived with it. But for us, it was like, well, I want to get up, have breakfast. So we were going down for breakfast at like 6:30 in the morning.
That's quite early.
You're out of the time zone.
You got the jet lag, so that
You've got the jet lag. You go down for breakfast. It's dead quiet. You get fed, go back up, get changed, pack your bag, and then you're out the door for like 7:30, quarter to 8.
Yeah.
So you're at the park for 8. They're either opening at 8 or 8:30. And they'll let you in early. You know, they'll let you scan in early. You just can't get to certain things before.
Yeah.
So that was my only other complaint, that the shuttle bus that the hotel had was only like once or twice a day going and once or twice coming back. And them times didn't align with our plans very well.
Yeah. So you just Ubered.
I just Ubered and used Lyft. I found a new love for Lyft actually while we were away.
Okay.
LYFT.
I know the brand.
Yeah.
What makes them different?
Well, they don't seem to charge, the surge charge that Uber does.
Yeah.
Either they don't charge it or it's nowhere near as much. So coming back one day, we were leaving Hollywood Studios about 5-6 o'clock, so normal-ish time. But there was obviously a lot of people leaving at that time. So I went on to Uber, and everywhere you go on Uber seems to be $12, $50, $13 within Disney property.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Every park you go to from the hotel is $12.
It's probably a fee that they've got to pay to get on.
Yeah, there's probably like a minimum, or they have an agreement with Disney that's sort of what they charge or something like that. Anyway, we came out of the park and Uber were asking for $42 to do what is normally a $12 ride, and I was like, no, I'm not paying it. So I said like, oh, we'll just sit down for half an hour out here, or we'll go back into the park for half an hour. I was like, you know what? Because Disney, the rideshare areas are sponsored by Lyft. And I go to America quite a lot. So I'm always like, oh, I might give it a go. And I never have. And I don't mind paying a little bit more when it's busy. But I was like, I'm not paying like quadruple and a bit.
Yeah.
Just because it's like busy. So I downloaded Lyft and it was like $12.
I think,
so I was like, fuck it.
Like you said, it's sponsored. And I think that's exactly why there's that standard fee. It's kind of...
Yeah, I think Lyft was fluctuating a little bit. Like I saw it go up to like $14.50 when it was busy, but it wasn't quadrupling.
Yeah,
so
and I think there is a deal there. There is some sort of.
So yeah, Uber's lost my allegiance in America, and I've gone to Lyft.
Yeah, I've never tried Lyft, but
honestly, it was really good. Do you know what the cars? Okay, so some of the drivers weren't the best, but some of the Uber drivers we used weren't the best either. So it was good and bad.
It's hit and miss.
Yeah, it's hit and miss. Now, there was some really nice, clean cars coming. And then there was one where the bumper was hanging off, and I was a bit like, not the best sign in the world. But he had taped it back on, to be fair to him.
I mean, yeah, just use some of that
engineering
tape.
But if he went over like a speed bump or anything like that, like the tyre was obviously rubbing on the bumper. But we made it. He wasn't the worst driver we had, actually. So, yeah, Lyft is my new go-to in America. Seems cheaper and more effective, and they seem to turn up faster.
Yeah, it could just be that agreement that they got with Disney, but
yeah.
No,
so,
but it seems like you had a fucking cracking time.
I mean, it was good, really good. Yeah,
it's a way. It's so immersive and away from work that you can really break away.
I left my work phone at home. I think if I took it, Vicky would have shot me. But then I have my emails on my other phone as well, so I muted all of that while we were away. Didn't look at it once.
I think the question is, you probably wouldn't have the time to.
I didn't either. It's not like you sat on a beach or around a pool and you think, oh, I'll just have a quick 5-minute scroll. We were that busy. Like, we were going out early for breakfast, coming in, 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, and like nearly crashing out into bed after you're walking like 10, 12 mile a day nearly and stuff. So I wouldn't have had time to check it anyway, but it was nice to just switch off.
Yeah.
I am paying for it.
3D Experience World, and then the rest of the Texas tour. That was exactly for me. It was kind of, I didn't have the time to.
Yeah, that's the way you want it, though. You want to turn it off.
I came back to a shit show, but
mate, I walked into like 520 emails. They've been off bloody 9 days.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. No, it's good. That was a good experience, and you got to have a.
No, it's good. I recommend it.
Good break.
Don't get me wrong. It's a fortune, and it is a fortune. But
if you're going to Disney and expecting a budget holiday,
we went in
try and
the
skimp where you can, but
we went in the cantina. Jesus Christ! Yeah, we went in the cantina bar in Batu on the Outpost and stuff, and that was really good. Really, again, the theming and stuff in there is perfect. Yeah, immersive. I did think it was a little bit shitty that we were a party of 8, and it was a table for 10. So they shoved a random couple of 2 on our table. Now, I don't normally mind, but when you're paying that much for I had a bourbon-based cocktail, and it honestly came in like a double shot glass. It was that small. They said, "Oh, it's really strong. That's the amount we serve." Vicky had some fancy outer space margarita or something like that. I think it was called the Outer Rim, actually, or something like that. Ironically. So she had that. I had that, and that was it. We got one drink each, and it was like $65 or something. Yeah, it was pricey in there, like really pricey. And the other thing, you only get 45 minutes in there, which I think is a little bit.
You know what? If drinks were like $12-15, people would spend the day in there and get pissed.
Yeah, they would. Well, they've put a time limit on it, and they've priced people out as well.
Yeah, so if you put it at a stupid price, put a time limit, they're not going to get people getting pissed.
But they were really good drinks. The only thing that was weird with mine is it was a bourbon-based cocktail thing, but it came in a shot glass, and it had chili flakes in it.
Right.
So it was spicy, like hot, like hot. But the theming was really good. And the other thing I thought was, obviously it's a bar. And I know they're trying to emulate the Star Wars thing, but the whole bar had people standing around it. Like, you know, like the whole horseshoe of the cantina was people. And there's lines on the bar for like your bit of space. And I thought, like, you say you've booked for 1 p.m., right? You turn up at 1 p.m. and check in. You've got to check in and say, I'm here. There's no guarantee they're going to seat you there and then. You might have to wait. We had to wait 20 minutes. And then if I'd been waiting 20 minutes at Disney in the middle of the day where I've just done probably 10,000 steps on a morning, my feet are killing me, and you tell me I've got to stand at the bar, I wouldn't be best impressed.
I guess if it depends, like if it was just you and Vicky. It
it might have been easier. And they gave us, like one of the booth tables, like the Han Solo Greedo thing, it was cool, really nice, loved it. But then there was other tables they squeezed in, like high tables between like the outer horseshoe with them booths in and the bar horseshoe. They had like little oval tables, but like high up, so you had to stand around them. And there was groups of 8 stood around each of them. So it was packed. I mean, I think we were probably lucky that we had the kids with us who they probably thought.
I was about to say I think that's why you got that, because kids at a little table that's fucking taller than them.
Yeah, and that's what I said. Like, if we'd have got that, I wouldn't have been particularly. You wouldn't have been thrilled. Like that, the kids are like, I can't see anything anyway. I've just stood up in a dark room. Yeah. But it was good. It was really good. Worth doing if you go. Yeah.
Good. You spend too much money on merchandise.
I didn't really buy a lot, mate, if I'm honest.
Yeah. We were
you know what? I didn't. I was a bit disappointed. Merchandise. We got this, and I know it's like quite ugly, but we got it because it says Walt Disney World 2024 on it. Yeah. So I wanted something with a date on, because I don't know how many years it'll be till we go back. Yeah. I got, the Coca-Cola bottles from the Star Wars area. that
Oh,
look like
the
the
little grenade things.
So I got one of them. That's going to go on my shelf, and just a few other little bits and pieces. But we really didn't spend a lot. We got the dog like a rope pull chew toy thing that's Grogu.
Yeah.
So we got him that.
Yeah, we didn't buy it when in Paris. We looked at the merch and we're like, cool. Walked out. There was nothing that really was like, I need that.
That was what we were like.
Like there were a lot of cool stuff, but it was like, do we really need that? So
well, yeah,
like,
I was kind of the same.
I'd rather spend that money on a Mickey Mouse shaped sandwich, you know.
Yeah, and yeah, and we did. We had food and stuff that we wanted, like pretzels, all sorts of other random bits and pieces, ice creams. And I preferred that for me.
Yeah, because a lot of that stuff you can buy on the Disney store online.
Oh, the Sprite bottle is behind. Vicky just texted me and said the Sprite bottle's behind me. It's up the top.
She's watching. Hi. I see it there.
But yeah, it was good. So yeah, Vicky's been tidying up, not me. So I've got some more random bits of stuff on my random shelf. Yeah, no, it was a really good holiday. It's semi worth the money, is how I phrase it.
I think if you get into the mind it's going to cost a lot of money and you prepare for that, you won't be surprised.
You know what? I didn't think it was bad. And people will laugh at me for this because our breakfast was included in the hotel. So I was having a decent breakfast.
I think our breakfast was also included. Actually,
dinner as well. We'd get a snack on a morning if we got hungry to share.
Yep.
And then we'd get lunch each.
Yep.
$12 to $14. No, $12 to $16 each. So say worst case, $32.
Yep.
Similar for dinner on a night, $64. Plus maybe an ice cream or something. You're looking $6, $7 each.
I guess it was a family getaway. You weren't out at bars getting shit-faced. You were...
No, but I did have a few beers and stuff when I wanted them.
Yeah, you did.
I reckon...
But you never kind of finished the night and then went out till 3 a.m.
No, because it's not that sort of holiday. You're knackered.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Knackered. I honestly think with Ubers at $12 each way, we were probably spending $100 a day for two.
That's really good for Disney.
It's not bad at all.
Like that's,
and we weren't going crazy, but we were getting what we wanted, like for eating and stuff. And we did go out for a few fancy meals and stuff.
Yeah.
And there was days where it was more, and there was days where it was probably a little bit less. So
yeah, I mean, our tour around Texas was insanely expensive, but the stuff that we were buying was kind of like Sarah got some proper cowboy boots.
Yeah.
That was a few $100s, and went to the rodeo. That was a few $100s. We weren't really pulling back.
Yeah,
we're trying to budget on anything. But when we did Disneyland Paris, I think Disneyland side of that holiday, because we did one night in Disneyland Paris, we did 2 days, one night, and then 3 days in actual Paris. 2 nights. We spent more in Paris than we did in Disneyland.
Yeah. No, I can imagine.
I think it was because we were like, oh, let's go for lunch here. Let's have a fancy dinner here. Versus in Disneyland, we're like, look, we can sit down for an hour, or we can stop there, get a sandwich, and walk to the next ride, and be as efficient as possible.
Yeah. Honestly, I was. Don't get me wrong; it was expensive, but I was pleasantly surprised. I thought we would spend more. I thought we could have spent less too, if you know what I mean.
I agree. But, that's exactly how I felt after Texas. It was like, I looked at the stuff that we bought. It's like, we could have cut back, not done certain things, but everything that we did was worth it.
Yeah, and what I would say is, America ain't cheap anymore for food anyway.
Oh no.
We went to Cheesecake Factory because I love cheesecake, and you don't need to get a main in Cheesecake Factory and a cheesecake, but we got a main each, a Diet Coke each, and it's America, so everything's refillable. So I had like a double cheeseburger thing. I can't remember what Vicky had. And then we got a cheesecake each to take away with us,
Yeah.
which I had a snack on that evening and had for breakfast the next day.
Yeah.
And that was $70-ish, which I actually, if I was getting similar here, would have cost me more, I think. For a decent burger with a drink, with a dessert, in a nice setting, would have probably cost me that, if not more.
And then you got a tip on top of that.
Yeah.
It wasn't
horrendous. Yeah, it was. It was probably $77 for that. Now, if I'd have got a meal in Disney that was table service, I'd have been looking at $35 each for a main. So I got a dessert for free, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, the one night I went when we were out, there was 6 of us, and I decided to buy a round for everybody. And I was like, oh, so like 4 double Jack Daniels and Cokes, and this cocktail, that cocktail. It was 8 drinks. It came to $120.
Yeah,
this was in a bar in the middle of nowhere. No,
that is
fancy
expensive.
place.
That is expensive.
I was just like, oof.
Like when I've
everywhere we drank in Texas, I think that's what we spent the most money on.
Texas is expensive for drink.
Alcohol is expensive in America.
So Oklahoma is not bad where I go for work, ironically. So I can go to like a rooftop bar at the hotel there, get an old fashioned with a fairly it's bottom shelf, but it's a bottom shelf decent whiskey. You're probably looking $14.
Oh, it's close to $20 for $18, $20 for a double Jack Daniels and Coke in most of the places we went to. But yeah, I think that's where most of our money went to. But yeah,
an all day.
Yeah, I mean, Sarah Mine's next holiday is Maldives in November.
Oh, is that this year, is it?
Yeah, but we've done all-inclusive, so
we have next year.
As long as we stay on the resort, we don't have to spend...
So we're...
We got the all-inclusive premium, so all the alcohol.
Did I not show you what we've booked for our blooming thingy next year?
Your honeymoon.
Oh, yeah, mate. So we've... hang on, I'll show you this.
Go on. Let's hear about this.
I'm going to put up a picture, mate. I can believe this. So it's all-inclusive.
Right.
Let me show you the... I couldn't believe this, mate, honestly. I was like, nah, not a chance. Can't be. Hang on, my computer's decided to have a shit fit.
Well, you get like a holiday deal.
Oh, mate. I mean, it's TUI again, but I know that the...
Hopefully the bus isn't as bad.
It's 3 minutes from the airport, mate. It can't go wrong. That's the minibar in the room.
Oh.
All inclusive. That's the minibar in the room, mate. Can you imagine?
Jesus Christ.
So, yeah. Be decent, that.
So where are you staying?
Some hotel, Cape Verde.
Cape Verde, where's that?
Off the coast of Africa. But look, this is... Why isn't it loaded? This is a hotel. It's all adults only.
Oh, that's south of the Canary... it's near Senegal.
Yeah, adults only. There's 9 different pools, swim-up bars. There's a nightclub entertainment with like a foam party once a week. So
that'll be... How long are you going for?
10 nights again.
Yeah, it's kind of... It's also... It's usually... We're doing, I think, 7 nights at Hard Rock. But I looked at packages.
Yeah.
And I looked at booking individually, and I just found that I found a package deal with British Airways that basically costs the same.
They have decent deals.
And I just did it all through that, and it just made it easier than trying to manage everything. It also includes the water taxi from the airport to the
villas and that, yeah.
Yeah, to the villas, to the island, because the island isn't far enough that you need a seaplane. You can just take a regular thing.
That's all right, though. That'd be good, that.
Dives.
The supply chain lad at work goes to the Maldives every other year. Goes back to the same place. He loves it.
Jesus. That's quite pricey.
Well, he doesn't spend money on anything. He's... So for lunch, Oh, mate, but like he's every day for lunch. He has a pack of microwavable rice from Lidl, so that's like 60 pence, and a can of mackerel or a can of tuna from Lidl. You know, like the tiny little ones, like 49 pence. So his lunch is costing £1.10.
Yeah. So this is where we'll be staying. There is ways to do it budget. So the Hard Rock Cafe is those set of islands, but you can like just come across here. The Hard Rock Cafe is over there, and you got a couple of restaurants in that aren't included. But this place's pool bar area is all inclusive as well. But yeah, they got like swim up bars. We got one of these overwater villas. We got the one with the. We got the one. Yeah, stupid money. Like if you want to do budget, you stay on one of the hotel rooms on the island.
Yeah.
There they are. But yeah, you spend a lot there. But if I have a look at the map, like the main airport is there.
That's so you just take a little
boat across there. You got the main hotel there, the main island there. And there's the hotel with then you can do like excursion stuff along here. But yeah.
Very nice that mate.
Yeah, it's like a little water slide area here. There's a swim up bar, which Sarah wanted a swim up bar. That was her request.
Was it? We've got water slides as well. I don't really get that in an adults only hotel, but I'll take it.
Trust me, you will use it.
Oh mate, I will. Especially when I'm like 12 all-inclusive steeps by 9 a.m.
Oh, when we did Mallorca, there was a adult-only hotel next to us, and I was thinking of booking into it. I was like, no, I'm going to book in the hotel we did because it's closer to the sea. Should have gone for the other one.
What kids?
So many kids. The hotel we had like an adult-only area, like a hot tub area.
Yeah.
Which was great, but it like fit 10 people.
Yeah, I was like, I don't mind kids and all of that, like, but I was kind of like, I just want 10 days of doing nothing in an all-inclusive place.
If it's adult only, the evening entertainment, all that kind of stuff is themed to adults. It's not like kids, entertainment.
Let me see if I can find a photo of this bad boy.
Bad boy.
Honestly, I was watching a video on it like when we booked it. Yeah, where are you?
Cape Verde should be nice.
Weather's meant to be decent that time of year. Yeah, this is in the hotel. So they have like different themed nights, neon white parties and stuff. So that'd be good.
Yeah, white parties. That's quite popular with the tropical. Like it's often on the cruise ships where everybody just dresses as white. It's not a racist thing.
So no, I'm looking forward to that next year. It'd be nice. I'm sure the Maldives would be nice. I looked at the Maldives as well, but
Maldives
it isn't
is expensive to get to as well.
Yeah, that was it. It wasn't so much the accommodation; it was the flights that were killing me at that time of year. Because you've got to go through like Dubai or India or somewhere to get there.
We're doing direct.
Direct. You must have hit lucky.
It was part of the package deal that we got.
There's not many direct flights from the UK.
There is. We got with British Airways.
Yeah,
but
they're probably the only ones.
Yeah. So it's like a 8-9 hour flight. Get across that way.
I was at 6.
I'm in the sea for a couple of days, and because it's all inclusive, we're not going to spend much money anywhere else.
That's what we said. By the time you rock up, you get your all inclusive wristband on. You haven't got to spend anything. So
yeah, when we did Mallorca, that was all inclusive. The only time we spent some extra money was when I needed flip flops and some sunscreen from the cafe from across the road.
Yeah, that's it for us.
There was one restaurant that was like right up on the beach. And we're like, that would be great to have a lunch one day. And we had to pay cash for the like rentable umbrella things on the beachfront.
Yeah. But no, that'd be good. Oh, well, I've enjoyed telling you about my Disney holiday. Hopefully
I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Makes you decide you want to go.
Oh, we probably would have gone anyway. But no, it was good. It was nice to just have you talk about a fun experience.
Honestly, it was good. Don't get me wrong, it's expensive, but it's good. Like, I'd go again. Not next year or the year after.
look at doing Paris, because you can just do the train. It becomes a nice.
It's quite expensive, though, you know. Did you stay in the actual Paris hotel?
We stayed in the Cars
Disney
Hotel,
one?
which is the cheapest, the second cheapest hotel.
Right, I'll have to have a
Offsite.
look. I did like a
No,
quick
no,
quote, and it was
it
coming
is
back
on
to
site.
like 1,500 quid for 3 nights.
Ours was, I think it was about 400 for a night.
That's not too bad. With your
And
park
that was
ticket.
for 2-day park tickets, train tickets across from London, and a night.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's like, you can have a weekend away for that. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
God, a season is cheaper. But Johnny, I don't know if you noticed.
I know.
Things.
Your stuff's
Where's
gone.
my cabinet gone? I had to pull that fucker out. No, but I've got a door
I know you got a new
over
door.
there, and my old door.
It's been plugged.
I had my back door plugged this morning.
And a new one fitted.
Yeah, last week they did the new back door. Today they bricked up the old back door, took the old one out, and then next week they do plastering. And then the week after is full on house renovations, kitchen and everything.
Yeah, well.
So I've got 2 weeks to get rid of all of this.
You're doing well, actually. A lot of your stuff's disappeared.
Yeah, most of the stuff on the top shelf's gone. This shelf is mostly cleared. Some stuff off there. The shelves over there, I'm trying to point there, they're all empty except for that one. So I'm chugging away through them all. But the kitchen, that's where it's going to start off with the work. So I'm not really rushing with that until he needs to come into here. But
Yeah.
finally, all the holes that are in this wall when I try to hang these shelves are going to disappear.
Yeah, that's going to be a bit of a... Take some measurements and scribble them down quickly.
No, I'm not worried about putting them back up yet. But
What are they doing anything to that wall or not?
well, do you remember when I hung that shelf?
Oh, yeah, you absolutely
Drilled
butchered
like stupid amounts of holes.
Just take the shelves down and put the screws back in.
I'm going to get them to... They're going to all the holes in that, they're going to replaster, fill in all
Christ.
the holes. All the walls are being repainted, all the
There's going to be an announcement on the news saying the UK's run out of plaster, filling all that up.
filling all my holes.
So, yeah, well, good.
It's,
Couple of weeks' time, we might be seeing a bit more difference.
yeah, so if we
might
count
be
these
tricky.
2 weeks, it's 2 months total of work that's being done. But the heavy work, like every day bit of work, is starting in May.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Well, I hope your new back door treats you well, and I hope you're not too sad your old one's being plugged up.
I mean, the dogs
Just
still
don't
go to the
forget.
old hole. They don't go
Yeah, I
to
was
the new
going to
hole.
say, yeah, don't forget and walk into the wall.
Gidget, the first day, Gidget walked into the living room, saw the new door, said, "Fuck it, I can't deal with this," and ran upstairs. She's like, "I don't like this. No, thank you."
No, bring my old door back.
Yeah, so yeah, lots gonna happen in my background. Lots gonna change. I'll be honest, I don't think I'm gonna bring out as many Lego sets because I like how minimal it's getting with just like 1 or 2 big sets. Like that Stormtrooper can eat a dick.
I mean, it looks like he is behind the Falcon, to be fair.
Yeah, that will probably go down there. I probably won't rebuild that. A lot of the cannon fodder on here will probably disappear. I'll just go into storage, really. But yeah. Oh, Brandon should be moving to the UK soon.
Or is he making his way across, is he? Is he?
He's finally got his British passport. He got it this week. He's looking to move here in like July.
I need a new passport, actually. That reminds me.
Maybe he'll be my +1.
We'll see.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that in January. It'll be good fun to head
Good,
up your
mate.
way and just get shit-faced.
Yeah.
Looking forward to your little stag do.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull Dublin off, but we'll see.
You can do whatever you set your heart to, Johnny.
I'm not organising it, mate. My brother is, so we'll see. But we'll save that for the next episode.
No, it's been fantastic catching up. I'm glad that Disney
Yeah.
was an awesome trip.
No, it was good.
It's just made me more excited to organize this.
Make plans.
It will probably be after World, I reckon, because we're going to be that side anyway. We might as well
That would be a good shout, actually.
pop over.
And it's not too far. You probably get direct. In fact, you will get a direct flight from Houston, I'm sure.
Well, Houston's a big hub, so
Yeah.
we'll see if we pull that off. So yeah, Sarah's big dream holiday is Maldives. One of mine was Texas, so not many other holidays after that. So
Yeah, well, good. Taking them off.
yeah, one by one. Work's going to have me full time soon.
Yeah, well, you got work to pay the holidays off.
Yeah, you got to work sometime. Jesus. All right, Johnny, it's been fantastic chatting.
It has.
It's been good catching up in that. You actually posted some stuff in these last 2 weeks.
Have I? Not on this account, I haven't. On the other one, I have.
Maybe I should swap the name on there.
I do sometimes think that, but then I think, yeah, I can't be bothered. Let's be honest, I'm hopeless on all of them.
I know. Well, if you want to follow me and see the shit renovations that are being done, I'm at KJ Designs 365. I've had too much Maker's Mark tonight. I'm going to sleep well tonight.
At Kessel Run Creations for me.
Excellent. If you want to see when the podcast is going to go live next, it's at The Core Podcast. Contact on Facebook. We are The Core Podcast with O's Zero. On Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok, we're at The Core Podcast.
Smashed it.
Smashed it. Johnny, we passed episode 75. We're
on the way.
Less than 25 episodes to 100. Let's see if we can get
Look, we're
there
less than 3 subscribers to 300. Never mind anything else.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to that too.
Me too.
If you haven't already, please do like and subscribe. Johnny, it's been good hanging out.
It has.
We'll see everybody
Bedtime for me.
in the next episode. I need to find the button. Where is it?
He's lost the button. He's lost the magic touch. It's only been 4 weeks.
I've got it, yeah. Thank you very much for hanging out. We'll see you all in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.